Alright, so today we're going to be working with the color sensor. Our program will be if the color sensor sees a blue object, we'll run the motors. And if it doesn't see any blue objects, then it'll stop. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first thing we need to do, like always, is the motors and sensor setup. So we go here under motors. My motor is plugged into port 1, so I'm going to create a motor here. I'm just going to name it motor. Then under devices, my color sensor is in port 3, so I'm going to create a color sensor there. Under color sensor, you'll notice you have three options. We're going to use the hue option, so we'll go ahead and do that. So now we'll get started with our code, just like what we did for the bumper one. We'll have a while loop, so that way our code will run forever, and we don't have to worry about it stopping after one time, and it'll just keep repeating over and over for us. To control or to check to see what the color is, we're going to use the hue command. The get hue. This command does is it returns the hue of a color. And what hue is it's a number that represents what color it is. So it goes from 0 to 255 across the color spectrum, with red being small, then it goes to yellow, green, blue, and purple. So kind of you can have that whole range. That kind of gives you an idea of where they'll be at, and you can kind of have some combination of colors. So what we'll do to figure out what the color is, for blue, it ends up being somewhere between 140 and 180 is what our color sensor reads for it. So we're going to use a compound if statement. So if you haven't seen this before, what these two things in here mean is and. So it will say if our color sensor is greater than 140 and the color sensor is reading less than 180, we say that we're seeing green. So it just kind of works. It must fulfill both the greater than 140 and less than 180. So this just kind of puts a range on it so that way it stays right inside of there. So if it's inside of this range, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run our motor. So we'll just go ahead, do a simple set motor speed 100, and that will run our motor. And then if it's not within this range of colors, then what we need to do is we need to have the motor stop. So we'll put in this else, and we'll set the motor speed to 0. So now, as long as whatever you put in front of it reads between 140 and 180 on the color scale, the motor will run. If it's not, your motor will stop. Hope you guys learned how to use the color sensor. Have a good day.